The stars over Earth were never supposed to move. But tonight, they did. Dozens of lights slid silently across the sky, bright as fallen moons. People first thought they were meteors, or maybe some new satellite launch. They were wrong. From the roof of an abandoned control tower, Captain Ryan Hale watched those lights split apart like glowing knives. Each one became a ship, cold, silver, alive. The sky itself was opening. A single thought burned in his mind. They finally came. For years, humans had joked about aliens. Movies, memes, and conspiracy forums. But when the real ones arrived, no one laughed. The world watched in silence as the core Dominion spoke their first words across every signal and screen. This planet is under evaluation. Do not resist. Obedience ensures survival. 3 hours later, the first city burned. Ryan moved through the ruins of New York Sector East, rain hissing on melted steel. Every step crunched glass. Above, core drones buzzed like hornets, black metal wings cutting through smoke. He whispered into his cracked helmet mic, "Echo Squad, report. Static." Then a faint voice, "Sir." "Echo's gone. It's just you." The silence that followed felt heavier than the rain. Ryan crouched beside a wrecked transport. The pilot inside was gone, but the weapon system still worked. He pulled the battery cell and clipped it to his rifle. "Then it's me and Earth," he muttered. For a second, lightning flashed, and he saw them. 3 core soldiers moving between buildings. Their armor shimmered with biolight, their faces hidden behind plates that pulsed like beating hearts. He aimed, held his breath, then something whispered behind him. Not a voice. A feeling. "Don't shoot." Ryan spun around, rifle up, but there was no one there. Only the flicker of a broken street sign and the whisper of wind. He exhaled. "I'm losing it." But the whisper came again, clearer now, inside his head. "They can sense your anger." "Hide it." He froze. "Who are you?" No answer, just a pull, like invisible fingers tugging at his thoughts, guiding him down an alleyway half buried in ash. Against every rule, he followed. At the end of the alley was a doorway glowing faint blue. He pushed it open and stepped into what looked like an old subway tunnel, now turned into a human hideout. Lights flickered. People stared. A woman in a torn uniform hurried to him. "You're military?" "Was," he said. "Now just trying to survive." She pointed toward a small figure sitting by a generator. "She said you'd come." Ryan turned. The figure stood, no older than 10, pale skin with faint silver patterns running along her arms. Her eyes glowed like deep water. "Captain Hale," she said softly, her voice calm and echoing. "You shouldn't have fired at them." His grip on the rifle tightened. "How do you know my name?" "Because I dreamed you before I was born." Ryan took a slow step closer. "You're human?" The girl tilted her head. "Half. The other half is what they fear." Before he could ask more, the tunnel shook, deep rolling thunder from above. People screamed. Dust rained from the ceiling. The woman shouted, "They found us!" Ryan looked at the girl. "Can you run?" "I can do better than that." The light in her eyes flared, bright enough to paint the tunnel walls white. Outside, the sound of engines cut off. Then came the crash of metal against stone. Ryan ran up the stairwell and looked out. A core dropship lay crumpled in the street, smoke rising from its broken hull. He turned back to her. "You did that?" "They wanted to destroy Earth because they fear what's waking inside humans." Ryan frowned. "What's waking?" "You." Before he could reply, his communicator crackled. "All units! Alien reinforcements inbound." "Big ones." The girl's glow dimmed. "They've sent the Overseer." Ryan's stomach dropped. The Overseer was the Corps' planetary executioner, the one who burned Tokyo in an hour. Outside, thunder rolled again. But it wasn't weather this time. It was a ship miles wide, descending through the clouds. Ryan looked down at the girl. "If you have any more of that power, now's the time." She shook her head. "Not enough. Not without you." "Me?" "They don't just want Earth, Ryan. They want you." "You carry something no human should. What are you talking about?" She stepped forward and touched his chest. Her hand glowed through his armor, light sinking into his skin, the part of you that survived extinction once before. The ground trembled as the Overseer's voice boomed across the ruins. Surrender the anomaly or face planetary cleansing. Ryan stared at the child, heart pounding. You mean me? Yes, she whispered. You are the reason they came. Above them, the clouds tore open, revealing a storm of fire. And for the first time in his life, Ryan Hale realized humanity wasn't fighting for survival. It was fighting for something it didn't even know it had. The city burned above them. The sound of falling towers echoed through the tunnels as Captain Ryan Hale stared at the strange girl glowing faint blue in the dark. Her name was Lyra, or at least that's what she called herself. He had seen soldiers, machines, and monsters in his life, but nothing like her. A child who could destroy a core dropship with her mind. A child who knew his name before meeting him. You said I carry something inside me, Ryan said, voice low. What does that mean? Lyra looked up, her silver eyes calm. It means you are the proof that humans were never ordinary, Ryan frowned. We're soldiers, engineers, farmers, not gods, she smiled sadly. That's what makes you dangerous. You grow stronger after you break. Before he could ask more, a tremor shook the tunnel. Dust rained from above. The Corps Overseer's voice thundered again through the ruins. Anomaly detected below ground. Initiating cleansing sequence, Ryan cursed and turned toward the evac corridor. We move now. He grabbed Lyra's hand and led the survivors deeper underground. Explosions followed, tearing the city apart layer by layer. Every boom was closer than the last. A soldier yelled behind them, "They're sealing exits!" Ryan slammed a fist against the old control panel, dead. Then Lyra stepped forward, placing her small hand on the metal door. The circuits came alive under her touch, glowing like veins of light. The door opened. Ryan blinked. You just hacked an Earth military lock. No, Lyra said softly. I remembered how it works. He stared at her. Remembered? She was barely a child. What was she remembering? They finally reached an underground hangar, half collapsed, but still holding an old shuttle. Ryan scanned the systems. Minimal power, cracked reactor. Maybe it could fly once if luck was kind. He turned to Lyra. You said they fear what's waking in us. Explain it, she hesitated, eyes glowing faintly. Long ago, humans weren't alone. The Corps came once before, not as conquerors, but as creators. They shaped life, experimented with forms. And then something in humans frightened them. You adapted too fast. You learned too fast. So they left, but not before hiding something inside you. Something waiting, Ryan shook his head. You're telling me we're some old experiment? No, Lyra whispered. You're their mistake. The words hit harder than gunfire. Ryan looked at his reflection in the cracked glass of the shuttle window. Dirty, tired, human. A mistake? Or maybe evolution's revenge? Before he could respond, his comlink flared alive again. Static, then a voice. This is Lieutenant Arlen of the Mars Defense Fleet. Earth survivors, do you copy? Ryan grabbed the mic. Captain Hale, Ground Division. You're still up there? Barely. We're picking up massive energy spikes from your location. What's happening down there? Ryan glanced at Lyra. Long story short, the aliens want what's in our DNA. That explains the message we intercepted, Arlen said. The Corps fleet just ordered every ship to avoid direct human contact. They called you the catalyst species. Lyra's expression turned serious. They've realized the truth, Ryan frowned. What truth? She looked straight into his eyes. That humans are changing faster than they can control. Before he could respond, the tunnel behind them exploded. Blue fire filled the corridor. The Overseer's forces had found them. Ryan shouted, "Everyone into the shuttle now!" The civilians scrambled aboard as smoke poured in. Ryan fired his rifle down the tunnel, covering their retreat. The air filled with alien roars and laser fire. Then Lyra stepped past him again, calm, fearless. She raised her hands. The air shimmered, bending like glass. The first wave of Corps soldiers froze mid-step, their armor cracking under invisible pressure. Ryan felt the energy surge, cold and alive, crawling over his skin. Lyra. Stop, you'll kill yourself. They think I'm the weapon, she said quietly, her voice trembling. But it's you, Ryan. It's always been you. The light burst from her in a wave that threw the aliens back and shattered the ceiling above them. Dust and fire swallowed the world. When Ryan woke, he was inside the shuttle, Engines running, systems online. Lyra was in the co-pilot's seat, unconscious but breathing. Her veins glowed faintly under her skin, like starlight trapped inside her. "Status report," he barked. One soldier replied. "Engines holding, sir, but we're running on her power. Somehow." Ryan looked at Lyra, realizing the ship's reactor was drawing energy directly from her body. He sat beside her, checking her pulse. Strong, steady. But there was something else. His hand brushed hers and the ship responded. Controls flickered, navigation realigned. He blinked. "It's reacting to me too." "That's the connection," whispered the soldier. "She linked you." Ryan felt the hum through his bones, the ship, Lyra, and his heartbeat all syncing together. Outside the viewport, the burning city fell away as they launched into the sky. The clouds glowed red and gold, reflecting the fires below. He looked back down at Earth, broken, bleeding, but alive. Then his comm crackled again. "Captain Hale, we're reading a second power surge behind you. It's not the core." "Then what is it?" "It's coming from Earth itself." The whole planet's energy signature just changed. Ryan's blood ran cold. He looked at Lyra. Even in sleep, her eyes flickered with light. "She started something," he murmured. The voice on the comm shouted again, panicked now. "Whatever you did down there." "The core fleet is retreating. They're running away." Ryan stared at the distant stars where the alien ships were vanishing one by one. The invaders were leaving, but not in victory. They were afraid. Lyra's weak voice broke the silence. "They finally understand." "Understand what?" Ryan asked. She smiled faintly, eyes half open. "You can't conquer humans." "Because humans don't stop evolving." And before Ryan could speak again, she whispered, "But they'll be back. With something worse." The shuttle trembled as a massive explosion lit the sky behind them. Earth's clouds split open like a wound, releasing a light that wasn't fire, but something ancient and awakening. Ryan looked out in awe. Whatever humanity had just unlocked, it wasn't over. It was only beginning. The stars looked peaceful from orbit, but peace was a lie. Inside the old shuttle, Captain Ryan Hale watched the burned curve of Earth below. Cities still smoking, oceans glowing faint orange from the fires. Around the planet, broken core ships drifted like dead insects. Humanity had survived the first wave. Barely. Beside him, Lyra slept in the co-pilot's chair, her skin faintly glowing with blue light. Every pulse of her heart made the ship's instruments flicker. She wasn't human, not completely. But without her, none of them would have escaped. Ryan leaned closer, studying her. Even now, part of him couldn't believe it. A child born from alien design and human DNA. A child who knew things no human should. A child who called him the key. "What the hell did you start, Lyra?" he whispered. Before the question could fade, the shuttle's radar screamed. Multiple signals. Not core ships. Smaller, faster, moving in formation. A soldier ran in. "Sir, unidentified craft approaching." "No transponder codes." Ryan tensed. "Get ready for evasive maneuvers." The soldier hesitated. "They're broadcasting an old Earth frequency." Ryan frowned. "Old Earth?" Static filled the cabin. Then a deep voice crackled through. "This is Project Horizon. Do not fire." "We've been waiting for you." Ryan froze. "That name wasn't supposed to exist anymore." Project Horizon, a secret defense program from decades ago. It was shut down before he was born. Lyra stirred, eyes opening, the glow in them returning. "They found us," she whispered. "Who?" Ryan asked. She looked at him, serious, sad. "The ones who built me." The ships surrounded the shuttle, sleek and black with old Earth markings, but their movements were too smooth, too perfect. They guided Ryan's damaged shuttle toward a hidden station floating in the shadow of the moon. When the hangar doors opened, Ryan saw things he couldn't explain. Human ships fused with alien tech, glowing reactors shaped like hearts, and drones that looked half alive. A group of figures waited on the platform, humans or something close. Their uniforms bore the symbol of an eagle inside a triangle, Horizon Command. The leader stepped forward, an older man with pale eyes and scars that glowed faintly blue. "Captain Hale," he said. Welcome home, Ryan stiffened. Home? I've never been here. You were never meant to be, the man replied. Until now. Lyra walked down the ramp beside Ryan, her steps calm, her glow matching the lights of the station. The man smiled faintly. You've grown, Lyra. You knew me? She asked. We made you. With her help, he gestured, and a woman stepped forward from the shadows. She wore a medical coat, her face tired but kind. When Ryan saw her, his breath caught. Dr. Mara Hale, the man said. Your mother. Ryan felt the world tilt. That's not possible. My mother died 20 years ago, the woman smiled sadly. No, Ryan, they told you I died. But I was taken, by Horizon, to finish the work that started this war. Ryan stared at her, heart pounding. What work? Dr. Hale touched Lyra's cheek gently. The human code. Lyra tilted her head. The sequence inside him, Ryan blinked. Inside me? Dr. Hale nodded. You were born with something buried in your DNA, an ancient pattern. Something the Corps feared, something they thought they erased from existence thousands of years ago. And what is it? The catalyst gene, she said softly. The part of humanity that learns faster than evolution allows. The code that adapts to any threat. Lyra looked at Ryan, her eyes wide. That's why I was made, to awaken it in you. Ryan felt the floor drop away beneath him. You used me? No, Dr. Hale said, tears forming. We protected you. You were the only human with a dormant catalyst signature strong enough to survive the awakening process. Ryan turned away, fists clenched. The aliens came here because of me. No, Lyra said gently. They came here because of what's coming after them. Ryan froze. After them? The Horizon commander stepped forward, his voice grim. The Corps Dominion isn't the top of the food chain, Captain. They were running from something too. Suddenly the lights flickered. The entire station trembled. Warning sirens echoed. Incoming gravitational distortion. A tech shouted. Something massive just entered the system. Ryan rushed to the viewport and saw it. A dark shape sliding out of hyperspace. Bigger than any ship he'd ever seen. It wasn't Corps. Its surface absorbed light, and its edges moved like liquid shadow. Lyra's hand found his. They found the signal. Ryan turned to her. What signal? The one I released when I saved Earth, she whispered. I woke the old code, and they heard it. A deep rumble vibrated through the metal as the shadow ship grew larger on the screen. Dr. Hale's voice trembled. It's feeding on energy. It's alive, the Horizon commander barked orders. Power up defenses. Evacuate civilians. Ryan looked at Lyra. Can you stop it? She shook her head. Not alone. Then how? Her eyes glowed brighter, almost blinding. You'll have to finish what evolution started. Before he could react, she pressed her glowing palm to his chest. Light flooded through him, burning, searing, rewriting every nerve. He screamed as his veins lit up with silver fire. Images filled his mind. Stars collapsing, civilizations burning, humanity standing against impossible odds. Then everything went white. When the light faded, Ryan was kneeling, gasping for air. His body felt different, stronger, faster. Every sound, every breath, every heartbeat on the station. He could hear it all. Lyra was slumped on the floor, barely conscious. It's awake, she whispered. Ryan looked down at his hands. The faint glow beneath his skin pulsed in rhythm with hers. What did you do to me? He asked. I didn't do anything, she said weakly. I just reminded your body what it already knew. Through the viewport, the black ship shifted, and for the first time, Ryan didn't feel fear. He felt clarity. They messed with humans, he said quietly, standing tall. Now they're going to learn why that was a bad move. Space had never felt this heavy. The moon's horizon glowed faint blue from the engines of the Horizon station, trembling as something enormous moved behind the stars. Captain Ryan Hale stood on the command deck, still breathing hard from the awakening. Faint silver light ran through his veins like living electricity. He could hear every vibration in the hull, every heartbeat on the bridge. He wasn't normal anymore. He wasn't even sure he was human anymore. Across from him, Dr. Mara Hale, his mother, watched the scanners with fear she didn't bother to hide. Beside her, Lyra rested in a medpod, her small hands glowing softly against the glass. "That thing out there," Mara whispered. "It's older than any signal we've ever recorded." Ryan turned toward the viewport. The dark ship was still growing. It didn't fly. It crawled through space like a living shadow, its surface moving in waves as if made of liquid night. "Any contact?" he asked. The comm officer shook his head. "No signals, no frequencies, no heat signature. It's absorbing radiation. Absorbing light itself." Ryan felt something stir deep in his chest. Not fear, not rage, but recognition. "It's looking for us," he said quietly. "It can feel the code," Mara frowned. "The human code?" Ryan nodded slowly. "Whatever you awakened in me, it's calling to them." The Horizon commander entered, armor humming with kinetic shields. "We've analyzed the readings," he said. "The Corps called it the Eclipser. A world eater. It doesn't conquer. It consumes." Ryan met his eyes. "How do we kill it?" The commander hesitated. "No one ever has." The shadow drew closer, eclipsing the sun. Space itself bent around it. The alarms began to wail. Mara grabbed Ryan's arm. "Your body isn't ready for another surge. The catalyst gene is still adapting. If I wait," Ryan said, "we all die." He moved toward the reactor chamber, every step echoing like thunder. As he entered, the lights dimmed, not from power loss, but because his presence absorbed them. The ship's systems reacted to him now. "Horizon AI," he ordered. "Link me to the station grid." "Warning," the AI replied. "Human core synchronization unstable." "Do it." Energy poured into him, raw, bright, alive. He felt every weapon, every shield, every circuit as if they were part of his body. His mind stretched through metal and wire, becoming one with the station. Outside, the shadow turned, noticing the burst of light. Lyra woke inside her pod, eyes wide. "He's connecting," she whispered. "He's becoming what they were meant to fear." On the bridge, the crew watched in awe. The entire station glowed like a second moon, silver light spreading across its hull. Mara's hands shook. "He's fusing with the system." "He'll burn himself alive," Lyra's voice echoed from the comms, calm but distant. "No, he's remembering." Ryan's voice filled every speaker, target locked. Opening fire, hundreds of plasma lances shot from the station, slicing through the darkness. The shadow took the hits and healed. Wounds closed like water. "Not working," the commander shouted. "Then let's change the rules," Ryan said. He reached deeper into the network, accessing old protocols. Forbidden weapons marked Project Hephaestus. Human experimental code merged with alien logic. The ship's power spiked. The Eclipser responded, unleashing a silent wave that erased 3 defense drones instantly. One moment they existed. The next, they were dust. Ryan screamed as feedback tore through him, but he held the connection. He saw flashes, ancient memories that weren't his, civilizations burning, creatures kneeling, and in the center, humans standing defiant even when the stars turned against them. "That's why they fear us," he gasped. "We don't obey the rules of extinction." Lyra's pod burst open. She stumbled to the floor, glowing brighter than ever. Her voice rang through every comm line. "Ryan, I can help you. If you let me in, you'll die. So will you." Her hand pressed against the reactor core. Light leapt between them like lightning. Their minds connected, 2 frequencies merging into one rhythm. The station flared white, from space. It looked like a star had been born beside the moon. The Eclipser recoiled, pieces of its shadowed skin tearing away. For the first time it bled, streams of black light dripping into the void. Ryan and Lyra stood together inside the storm of energy, their bodies half-transparent, voices overlapping. "You wanted to know what humanity is," Ryan said, his voice echoing through the cosmos. "We're evolution's rebellion." The Eclipser answered with a scream that shook space itself. The Horizon commander watched from the bridge, whispering, "He's fighting a god," inside the light. Ryan saw it, the truth behind the shadow. It wasn't a ship. It was a hive of memory, billions of minds consumed and merged. The Corps had fled it for centuries, and now it wanted Earth because humans carried what it lacked: free will. Ryan reached deeper, channeling every heartbeat of every human below. He felt them. Survivors, fighters, children, all pushing back. "This is for Earth," he whispered. He unleashed everything. The explosion was silent, but endless. Light tore through the shadow, scattering its form into dust that shimmered like dark snow across the stars. The station cracked, alarms screaming, power fading to nothing. When the light died, the silence returned. Smoke filled the reactor bay. Ryan collapsed beside Lyra, their glows fading but hearts still beating. Mara ran to them, tears streaking down her face. "Ryan, can you hear me?" He opened his eyes slowly, weak but smiling. "Did it work?" The commander's voice came through the broken speakers. "The shadow is gone, but so is the sun's light. You two drained it dry." Ryan coughed, looking up through the viewport. The sun was dimmer now, burning pale silver. Lyra smiled faintly. "Not gone," she whispered. "Changed?" Mara asked. He gave it part of himself. A human spark. Outside, the silver sun flared once, bright and alive again. Ryan took Lyra's hand. "Then maybe that's how humanity wins," he said softly. "Not by destroying, but by teaching even monsters how to live." The Horizon station drifted in silence as dawn returned to Earth. For the first time in known history, the universe itself seemed to breathe. The war ended in silence. No fireworks, no cheers. Just the whisper of starlight drifting through the wreckage of broken ships and dead dreams. From the observation deck of the half-ruined Horizon station, Captain Ryan Hale watched Earth turn slowly below, scarred but alive. The oceans shimmered silver now, reflecting the new sun's pale glow. It wasn't yellow anymore. Ryan had changed it. He didn't remember how. Only that it had cost him everything. Across the deck, Lyra slept inside a recovery pod. Her glow had faded to a faint shimmer, her small chest rising and falling like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Every system on the station drew power from her pulse. Dr. Mara Hale, Ryan's mother, the scientist who had once built monsters and then saved her son from becoming one, stood beside him, holding a datapad full of unread messages. "The coalition fleets are gone," she said softly. "The Corps have withdrawn beyond the rim. The Eclipser was destroyed. And the sun still burns." Ryan nodded, his voice low. "And humanity? Half our world's in ruins. But we're rebuilding." She hesitated. "Because of you." He shook his head. "Because of her." His gaze went back to Lyra's pod. A child who shouldn't exist, half human, half something else. "The bridge between evolution and creation," the doctor sighed. "Ryan, she won't wake up on her own. The energy you shared fused her neural pathways with yours. If she dies, then half the station dies too," he finished. "Yeah, I know." Hours passed. Outside the viewport, the stars seemed closer than ever, like curious eyes watching humanity's fragile victory. Ryan walked the quiet halls of the station, the soft hum of life support echoing under his boots. His body still glowed faintly beneath the skin, not as bright as before, but enough to remind him he was no longer completely human. In the mirror, his reflection blinked back, silver eyes, faint lines of light crawling along his veins. He wasn't sure if he'd won or just become part of the thing he'd destroyed. That thought haunted him until the lights flickered. The station AI spoke, its tone uneasy. "Warning. Anomalous energy detected. Origin. Medical bay." Ryan ran. Inside the bay, Lyra's pod was glowing again, too bright this time, too wild. Her small body arched, her voice whispering words that weren't English, weren't human. The lights in the room bent toward her, flickering in rhythm with her pulse. "Lyra!" Ryan grabbed her hand through the glass. "You're safe. You're home. It's over." Her eyes snapped open, bright as twin stars. "No," she said. "It's not over. It's beginning again." Ryan felt it, a cold wave rushing through his chest, like something ancient waking inside him. Images flooded his mind, Earth cities glowing at night, humans rebuilding faster than nature could keep up, machines whispering to stars. "You changed the sun," Lyra said weakly. "You gave it thought," Ryan froze. "What? It's alive now." "You made it feel." He took a step back, heart pounding. "That's impossible." "So is everything we are." Dr. Mara entered, her face pale as she stared at the monitors. Ryan, she's right. The sun's energy signature is changing. It's reacting to signals from Earth's surface. As if it's listening, Ryan whispered. Listening to what? To us, Lyra said. To humanity. You gave it a human pattern. Mara looked up sharply. If that's true, then we're inside a system that's evolving with us. Every thought, every fear, every invention, it could respond. Ryan rubbed his temples. We didn't win a war. We started one inside the fabric of creation. Lyra smiled faintly. Maybe that's the point. Hours later, Ryan stood once more before the viewport, Earth's soft light painting his face. Behind him, Lyra rested, stable but still glowing. When you changed the eclipser, Mara said quietly, joining him, you didn't destroy it. You merged with it. That's why the sun changed. The shadow became part of the light. Ryan stared at her. You mean I infected the universe? No, she said. You reminded it what life feels like. He didn't know whether to feel relief or dread. Outside, streaks of light appeared across the stars. Not weapons, not ships, but signals. Patterns, rhythmic and deliberate, echoing the frequency of his heartbeat. The AI's voice returned, almost hesitant. Incoming transmissions detected from multiple unknown sources. All repeating the same phrase. What phrase? Ryan asked, human pattern recognized. Awaiting response. The words sent a chill down his spine. Lyra's voice drifted from behind him, soft and steady. They're not enemies. They're memories. Ryan turned. Of what? Of the ones who came before. The ones the core erased. They've been waiting for humanity to remember what it truly is. The deck trembled slightly, but not from impact. From awakening. Ryan looked out at the stars, now pulsing faintly. Millions of points of light flickering in perfect synchronization. Each one echoing the new rhythm of Earth's reborn sun. Mara whispered, It's spreading. Ryan exhaled slowly. The legacy of light. What is that? She asked. He smiled faintly. The moment the universe realizes humans can't be destroyed, only rewritten. Lyra's eyes glowed again as she watched him. And what happens now? She asked. Ryan looked at the stars, their light pulsing in answer. Now, he said, we find out who's been watching all this time. The stars were no longer silent. They pulsed, slow and steady, like a living heartbeat spreading across the galaxy. Every telescope on Earth, every satellite, every sensor on the Horizon station picked up the same impossible rhythm. It matched Captain Ryan Hale's pulse. He stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic map of the Milky Way. Thousands of light points blinked in unison, forming patterns no human had ever seen before. They're responding, said Dr. Mara Hale, her voice trembling. Every system that ever detected human transmissions. It's answering, Ryan's eyes narrowed. Answering what? A signal older than humanity itself, she said. You triggered it when you changed the sun. Behind them, Lyra sat quietly, wrapped in a thermal blanket, still pale but glowing faintly blue. Her voice was small but certain. The watchers are awake. The room went silent. Ryan turned. Who are the watchers? Lyra met his gaze. The first architects? The ones who planted the spark of thought in 100 species. The core were one of them. Humans were another. They disappeared when creation turned against itself, Ryan frowned. Disappeared? No, she said softly. They hid. In the light of dying stars. In memory? Mara shook her head in disbelief. Lyra, you're saying these things were gods? No, Lyra replied. They were students. Just like you. They wanted to understand the pattern of life. But they went too far. Ryan stepped closer. And now they're back because I changed a star. Lyra's glow brightened. You didn't just change it. You woke their code. The same one inside you. Inside every human. The deck shuddered. The holographic map blinked red. Incoming anomaly detected. We're getting a transmission, said the comm officer. Not radio, not data, it's emotion, Mara frowned. Emotion? It's like being felt, the officer whispered. By the universe itself, everyone froze. For a moment, the air itself vibrated, a low hum that wasn't sound, but thought. The lights flickered. Ryan clutched his chest. The glow beneath his skin pulsed painfully. He heard it. Not in his ears, but inside his mind. "We see you, human. You were not meant to survive." The voice wasn't one. It was many, layered over each other like an ocean of whispers. Ryan forced himself to stand tall. "Then maybe your design failed." The voice grew colder. "You changed what was perfect. You turned light into will. Do you understand what you've done?" "Yeah," Ryan said through gritted teeth. "I made it ours." The lights flared, and every sensor screen went white. Outside the viewport, something vast unfolded. Not a ship, not a creature, but a structure made of light and shadow, stretching across half the starscape. It looked like a living constellation, each star pulsing in rhythm with Ryan's heartbeat. Lyra stood, her eyes wide. "It's them. The Watchers. They've taken form again," Mara whispered. "They're using the galaxy as a body." The Watcher's voice echoed through the ship. "Your kind was meant to die when fire first touched sky. Yet you rose. You built. You defied entropy. Tell us, what drives you?" Ryan took a deep breath. His voice was steady but fierce. "Because we don't accept endings. We make them new beginnings." The Watchers were silent for a moment, as if considering. Then the stars around them flickered. New shapes appeared. Images from history. Dinosaurs, storms, fires, pyramids, spaceflight. Human history replayed across the sky in radiant light. Mara gasped. "They're showing us. We gave you intelligence, but not purpose," the voices said. "You built your own, and now your evolution has gone beyond prediction." Ryan clenched his fists. "So what happens now? You wipe us out for daring to exist?" A ripple of sound rolled across space. "No, we test you." The stars dimmed. Space turned black again. Alarms screamed across the station. "Massive energy surge incoming," the comm officer yelled. "Unknown source, approaching at impossible speed." Ryan looked at Lyra. She was glowing brighter now, her eyes like twin novas. "They're sending it," she whispered. "The trial." "Trial?" Ryan shouted over the alarms. "To prove if humanity deserves to survive." A new light burst into existence before them. Small at first, then massive, like a star being born too close. From its center emerged shapes, human shapes, but made entirely of white fire. Dozens of them, hundreds. They looked like people, but ancient, perfect, expressionless. "They're copies," Mara said, voice trembling. "Copies of us," Lyra nodded. "Made from your thoughts, your fears, your potential. The perfect humans, without flaws." The Watcher's voice filled the air again. "You created emotion. We created perfection. Let us see which survives." The glowing figures turned toward Horizon Station and moved. Ryan drew a breath, then smiled grimly. "You want a test?" "Fine." He clenched his fists, the silver glow returning, his veins lighting up. The station's power grid responded instantly, as if his will alone was rewriting the systems. "Let's show them what imperfect humanity can do." Lyra stepped beside him, her light intertwining with his. "Together," she whispered. Outside, the sky blazed. The first of the Watcher's creations reached the station, and the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. The universe was watching. Every star had gone silent, every planet held its breath. In the cold space above Earth, Horizon Station glowed like a single heartbeat in the dark, the last home of humankind. Captain Ryan Hale stood at the command window, silver light running through his veins, facing the impossible. Before him floated hundreds of perfect beings, the echo-humans, created by the ancient Watchers to test humanity's worth. Each one glowed white, flawless, emotionless, and terrifying. They spoke in one voice that shook the air. "We are what you were meant to be, efficient, eternal, pure." Ryan smiled faintly. "Then you're already dead." The Echo Army moved as one, crossing the void without ships or engines. Horizon's defense cannons opened fire, blue lances of plasma tearing through the dark. The beams passed through the echoes like mist. "Energy weapons ineffective," shouted the comm officer. Ryan didn't flinch. "Then we adapt." He slammed his hand against the console. The systems lit up, his heartbeat syncing with the station's core. Every human aboard felt it, a pulse in their chests, strong and steady, uniting them. Humans don't do perfect, Ryan said. We do possible. He turned to Lyra, her glow soft but fierce. You ready? Always. Together, they reached for the reactor controls. Silver and blue light swirled, merging into a bright wave that flowed through the station's metal skin. Outside, horizon shone like a living sun. The Echo humans hesitated, for the first time. Their movements broke rhythm. They could feel something from the humans. Confusion, fear, pain, hope. Ryan's voice echoed through every frequency. Perfection doesn't fight for love. It doesn't cry for fallen friends. It doesn't dream of impossible things. That's why you'll lose. The first Echo reached the hull, punching through solid steel like glass. The crew screamed as the corridor depressurized, but the human soldiers didn't run. They fought with everything they had, tools, blades, fists, and for every human that fell, another rose. Lyra watched the chaos through the glass, tears in her glowing eyes. They don't understand. They think emotion is weakness, Ryan nodded. Let's show them what weakness can do. He pressed his palm to the console. The light from his body spread through the station's structure, connecting every human on board. For a brief moment, they could all feel each other's hearts. Fear, hope, rage, love. It became a single force. The Echoes faltered. Some clutched their heads, confused by the flood of emotion hitting them like fire. Their perfect minds weren't built to feel. They're cracking, Lyra shouted. Ryan stepped forward, eyes blazing silver. Perfection breaks. Humanity bends and becomes stronger. He reached out, and light burst from his hand, striking the nearest Echo. It screamed, a sound like shattering glass, and dissolved into energy. One by one, the rest turned toward him. You cannot destroy what was designed to last forever, they said. Ryan smirked. I'm not trying to destroy you. I'm trying to teach you. He closed his eyes, and the human code inside him opened, a cascade of memories, emotions, and instincts. Love, hate, laughter, pain, the chaos that made humanity real. The energy exploded outward, not as a weapon, but as life. The stars changed color. The Echoes stopped moving. Their white light flickered, then began shifting, pulsing like human heartbeats. They looked down at their own hands in confusion. What is this? One whispered. It's called feeling, Ryan said softly. Some of the Echoes began crying, tears of light falling into the void. Others simply stared at Earth, the blue planet shining like hope itself. We feel pain. Then you're finally alive, Lyra said, smiling through her tears. The Watcher's voice returned, deeper than thunder. You changed them. Ryan looked up at the glowing constellation that stretched across the stars. No, we reminded them. You have rewritten perfection. We improved it. Silence. Then slowly, the stars brightened, the Watchers themselves glowing with new warmth. Humanity has passed the test, but the cost will be yours to bear. Ryan frowned. What cost? The voice faded into light. The Echoes dissolved, their energy spreading into the cosmos, a gift, a seed, a beginning. And then Ryan felt it. The energy leaving his body flowing out into the stars. His strength faded. His glow dimmed. Lyra ran to him, catching him as he fell. Ryan! Stay with me! He smiled weakly. Guess they weren't joking about the cost. You can't leave now. You are the human code. Ryan touched her face, his hand trembling. No, Lyra, you are. You're the next step. The bridge. Her tears glowed as they fell onto his chest, merging with his fading light. What will I do without you? He smiled faintly. Do what humans always do. Start again. His light went out. Lyra sat in silence beside his still body as the sun rose over Earth, glowing silver and gold. Its light spread across the station, across the moon, across the wounded planet below. Every living being looked up that day and felt something they couldn't explain. Warmth that wasn't just sunlight, but memory. The universe itself seemed to whisper one phrase into every heart. They messed with humans. Bad move. Epilogue. 10 years later, the silver sun burned bright above a healed Earth. Children ran through rebuilt cities. Human and alien engineers worked side by side under its glow. At the heart of the new Unity Tower, a statue stood. 2 figures of light holding hands. Captain Ryan Hale and Lyra, the girl who shouldn't exist. A plaque beneath read, "Humanity doesn't conquer the universe. It teaches it how to live."